Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever wished you had more control over your computer? I mean, a keyboard's nice, a mouse is nice. A combination of the two is quite good for people like video editors and gamers. But what if you wanted something a little extra, a little more special, a little bit more in control? Well, that's why we gave the ShuttleXpress to Bryan, Cranky Hippo, and we asked him to give us his honest review.
Bryan Burnett from Before You Buy and host Know How, and today I'm taking a look at a couple of jog shuttles from Contour. If you're not familiar with a jog shuttle, it's basically a customized keyboard that simulates keystrokes based on button pushes or rotating a dial. The dial is rubberized to prevent slipping with those typically sweaty editing fingers. These jog shuttles can also be very helpful when it comes to video editing, and in my case, a whole range of other programs like AutoCAD or Microsoft Office or web browsers, etc. When I first started editing, I used a jog shuttle, and it was very helpful for going back a few frames or skipping ahead, and you can customize the buttons as you like. The first one I'm taking a look at is the ShuttleXpress that comes in at $60. It's fairly basic with 5 buttons and a dial. I'm running Windows 10 and downloaded the drivers for Windows 8 and it worked just fine. There's also drivers available for Mac if that's your preference. Once you have the software downloaded, you can select which program you'd like the buttons to be programmed to. And there's an option for customized buttons as you see fit. Hooking up the jog shuttle is a 6-foot-long USB cable, which is very handy, having a cable that long. I'm also using Adobe Premiere to test out these jog shuttles. Next up is the Shuttle Pro V2, and what's the main difference? More buttons. Obviously, that means it's more pro. The Pro has 15 programmable buttons, and the dial feels pretty much the same as the Express one, which is great because they both feel pretty solid. And another difference is that you can lift the clear button caps on the Pro and place a label to your preference underneath in case you don't want to have to try and memorize them. You can look at them. When it comes down to the software, it's not really fancy, but it's functional. It looks like it came from the XP days, and they haven't really updated the UI since then. But, I mean, how often are you going to be looking at it anyway? You're just going to be setting your profile as you see fit, and that it works perfect for that. So the pros and cons for both of these devices is the ease of use. You plug it in via USB, download the drivers as you need for your system, and it just works. It's easy enough to flip through the menu and get to the profile that you'd like to use, whether you're editing or something else. The build quality seems fairly solid. The buttons all have a nice feel to them, and the shuttle dial feels solid. As for cons, the only one I can really come up with is price. The ShuttleXpress comes in at around $60, and the Shuttle Pro V2 comes in at a little over $100. It's about the same on Amazon as it is on their Contour's website. It does seem a little expensive for a peripheral that you'll only be using for certain programs, but if you need something like this, I'd have to give both of these a buy because they both work as advertised, and they can really make your life easier if you want to set programmable buttons or you're doing some sort of video editing, stuff like that. And if you're trying to decide between the Pro or the Express, just ask yourself if you need 15 buttons or 5. I'd be perfectly happy with the Express for travel and have the Pro for my dedicated editing machine. This has been Bryan Burnett from Before You Buy. Thanks for watching.
And that's it. It's a double buy for the ShuttleXpress and Shuttle Pro version 2. Hey, Bryan, I got to ask you, what would I want to use that jog dial for? I mean, would it help me with video editing?
I mean, for me, it helps a lot. That's kind of, when I first started learning how to edit, that's what I used. And going, just a couple of frames at a time can be a pain if you're just using the keyboard or trying to use the mouse. So that's what I like to use it a lot for, and I program the buttons to do like play, stop, cut, and that, I don't know, it makes me edit faster, so that's why I like it.
All right. If people only bought one, you would probably push them towards the Shuttle Pro 2?
I would, if you really think you need that many buttons. But otherwise, like the little one works just fine. And if you're just going to be doing play, stop, rewind, and then using the jog shuttle for just like moving a couple of frames, then that I would go with that one.